Game Grumps live show story. The day before visiting Sid and Dev in Newfoundland, I took myself out on a date to a Game Grumps live show, because you gotta treat yourself. Didn't matter that it was 10 at night and I'd be forced to get up early the next morning. I was gonna chance it. I did make a video of how that night went for me, but I don't know if I was just powering through it so I could move on, but I really left out all the details of and how scary it was. Like, no, you're remembering this wrong, Ryan. It's not as cute as you made it to be. So I drove there by myself, with Google Maps' guidance. I guess that counts as a companion. It's an hour and 45-minute drive, 3 hours round trip. And the exit I miss every time driving into Toronto because I can never memorize it. Only messed me up once. I missed it one time, which is a new record compared to the 3 times that I missed it going to the Jacksepticeye show. So Google Maps and I were learning from our previous mistakes, but I was about to realize an even bigger one because having directions on your screen really sucks the life out of your battery's eyes. It was at like 60 something when I left, and by the time I sat down to relax and enjoy the show, it was 1 away from dead. So I really couldn't, and I was just dreading how the hell I was gonna get back home. After the show, I stopped at the Tim's down the street because it was almost like, when am I ever gonna get Tim's again? But there were strangely no booths, but this was before COVID, so I guess they rearranged everything in advance to tell me, I know you're lost, no you can't sleep here. But I got my last meal, and then a couple complimented on my Danny shirt, which was nice. But like seconds later, I was asking if either one of them had a charger. They didn't have one, so I told them that I'd try to remember the way home, even though I knew that wouldn't hold up. But they believed me anyway, and hoped I did too. And then we were both wrong, and then they never saw me again. Just getting out of Toronto was a nightmare, because it was so busy, and I never knew where I was. But it was my intuition and my okay memory that made me realize that I messed up at some point. This is every time I remember stopping until I got on the 401 East. And this is not fun when you believe you have social anxiety. I stopped in someone's driveway to ask someone that was just jogging by. I stopped at a different Tim Hortons. I never stopped to get a charger. That's how stubborn I was about the whole thing. And I guess in my mind I was like, I already have one sitting at home. What am I gonna do with 2 chargers? Couldn't use them at the same time. I don't want to replace my baby. So once I got on 401 East, I could finally relax and follow the road until my right turn into Milton. Until like an hour went by and I was seeing all these sussy ass town names and mine just never came up. I stopped at a gas station and got them to Google Map me, and then I was like, oh, now I remember. I was supposed to take 401 West. It was really frustrating because I wasn't lost anymore. I just had to redo all the hour of progress that wasn't even ever progress to begin with. I go back, turned right into Milton, but I didn't realize it wasn't a straight shot home after that, so I made 2 more stops. I think this one guy was really bothered by this dumbass and his directions because he was trying to smoke weed in his car. And then I stopped at an A&W to get someone to draw me a map on a piece of paper at 2 in the morning. Am I making you as miserable as I was? I was just lost for hours with nothing to see. I blame the consuming darkness for being so disorienting. If you're driving long enough in darkness without directions, you will lose where you are if you're not careful. The saddest part is I was only like 25 minutes away from home, and I was screaming in my car, wanting it to be over. I was supposed to make a left at some point, and then a right, and then I could turn Google Maps off if my phone wasn't dead and make it home safe, but I didn't know where that was. And whenever I was worried that I missed it, I'd go back. I went up and down this road like 4 times. I eventually drove far enough one way that I recognized the left turn that I believed would take me home, and then I took the right, and then I was home. 3 in the morning. There was worse, worser, and worsest. This story's gotta have the worsest title. Never mind me breaking controllers my dad said he doesn't remember me breaking. This drive was probably the most miserable I've ever been. But then 7 months after was the end of the world and we didn't have to go anywhere. And it's all been smooth sailing since then, right?